Yeah.
I'll do the intro afterwards as well.
Okay, cool.
All right, man. So welcome to my podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Very glad to have you.
yeah, man. Honestly, I've been excited about this all week. So
Actually?
Yeah,
I feel scared for that then. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, man. But I'm pumped. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, man. I'm really excited to have you here because I kind of messaged you originally about this and kind of talking to you about it.
Yeah.
But you were kind of shocked, I think, yourself as well as to the reason why you're here.
I'm like, so yeah, like that I've been like listening to your podcast before.
Again,
coming
thank
here.
you.
Yeah, no problem. And honestly, like I thought to myself as I'm listening, why did this guy invite me as a guest? Like out of all people, like so like I'm honored. So thank you. But like also like, interesting. I guess he sees something that I don't.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we talked about this like just before we did the podcast.
Yeah.
Like you guys know me at the store as like kind of even keel, cool, and like I won't really say a heck of a whole lot.
Yeah.
But if you get me behind the office, sometimes like I'll let like a couple of things go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a couple of guys know me as like getting like if they know me a little bit more behind the office, I'll let a little bit more go.
Absolutely.
And yeah, as you probably know, like I'm very kind of quiet about certain things at the store, but like
Right.
when it comes to the certain topics I'm passionate about, I'll definitely talk a little bit more about it.
Right.
So-
And you know me at National, I always let it go.
Yeah.
Every single
No shame
employee.
in your game, man.
Yeah, who
No
cares?
shame in your game. And that's honestly the perfect way to have it, because I think what happens in like today's world, and just as a whole, not even about fitness or exercise related, but everyone's kind of just reserved to hold their opinion on like whatever it is,
Yeah.
whether it be like COVID, whether it be like exercise or how you eat. Like I think everyone's just really reserved about how they talk.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really refreshing to hear just like someone just let it go.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what's missing nowadays. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
unfortunate.
I know. Like a lot of people are just too afraid to like offend
I know.
or be offended or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. National's been always such a like close knit group of people that
Yeah.
I'm just like, whatever. Like, just say whatever you want to say. Like, just go for it. Like,
It's funny that you say offend, especially that word, because
yeah.
who gives a shit? Just let it go. Just let it go,
Yeah.
right?
Just let it go, honestly.
And I think specifically at our store, I think it's cool because we have a maybe a little bit less now, like as like we keep progressing, but I think there's just a cool dynamic between all the staff, and we
absolutely.
kind of just respect each
Absolutely.
other. We're all kind of cool with it, but we'll also like you said, we'll let it in. Like
Yeah.
we'll lay it into someone if we need to.
Yeah, for sure. Like everyone's so chill there. Like you could literally say anything, and you know when you've drawn the line, and that's when you just apologize. You go, "Oh, I'm like genuinely sorry." But like
Yeah.
for the most part, no one gets to that point. Everyone's just like,
Sometimes
Oh, okay.
sometimes it gets to that point, but
sometimes, but then they'll fight back, and you're like, "Oh, okay." That's when you've reached your line, and you just gotta
pull back
pull back and
Yeah.
know the mistakes you've made, and you're like, "Okay."
and know the boundary.
Yeah, know the boundary. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've obviously got you on the podcast.
Thanks, sir. Yeah.
This is obviously like a little more health and like fitness related, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be. We'll definitely talk about some weird things in this podcast.
Cool.
But for our listeners, give us like a bit of a background about who Alex is and
boy.
a bit about yourself. Give us like your Facebook profile story.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah. So I am by day an elementary school teacher. I'm currently teaching social studies, so that's exciting. And by night, I guess I'm a part-time national sports employee.
Yeah, we put
don't
the
see
hashtag.
it.
We
Yeah.
put those out there because
End quote. Part-time national sport employee. I've been there for about, I'm gonna say 8 years.
yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I started in 2012. And so, yeah, it's been quite a journey. And yeah, I'm still kind of curious about why I'm still there. But
The funny thing is, okay, you want to continue because
No,
I have
no,
something
go
I
ahead,
want
go
to
ahead.
poke you on.
go ahead.
The one story I always remember, and it's the funniest story I always remembered, but what was the thing, and you can tell me that, but what was the thing that Nadeem said to you when he first hired you? Do you remember? Because if you don't remember, I do remember.
Did he talk to you about?
No, you told me about this. But I remembered what he asked you, why he questioned you, why you were going to work there.
Okay, from my interview with Nadeem, throughout the whole thing, I'm like, why is this guy even interviewing me? Like I'm this like lanky Asian kid, like barely
Not interested in
no
sports.
team sports. I don't like. You can literally name a team, and I wouldn't even be able to guess if it's like MLB, NBA, or like
That's 8 years ago and today.
Yeah, and like nothing's changed. So I remember just like sitting in that interview room, and he's like, "Oh, like, what would you do in a team situation? Like, how would you help?" And I'm like, and then I remember
I will work hard.
Yeah, I'm like, that's all I've got on me. But yeah, I just remember I don't remember anything like specific, but I just remember myself not being very sporty compared to the other people at the store. Like everyone else has like a hockey background, like a soccer background,
some sort of sporting.
Yeah, and I got like table tennis and like the most like Asian oriented sports you can think of, like badminton. Yeah, that's it. But like, what did I?
I remember you telling me that you were not interested in like team sports. It was exactly what you just basically said.
Yeah.
You're not interested in team sports, and I thought you told me like he asked you like straight out, why do you want to work here then? Or something along those lines.
A job, Nadeem. I just needed a job.
So that's what I remembered the most, and I think that sums it up. Like again, to be in this health and fitness world, you don't have to be like heavy team oriented. You don't have to be heavy team sports oriented. You don't have to watch like the U.S. Open. Like I got in the background right now.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to have those things. You could just be engaged in different activities, and that is considered health for a lot of people, which is I think important
for sure. And yeah, like I don't play a lot of team sports, but I do focus a lot more on individualized sports.
Yeah.
So like I've ran marathons. I've done like cycling things. I've done Tough Mudder. I've done, and you know, I'm working on golf right now. So like,
yeah.
and still trash. So
this is a summer of golf, man. This is a summer of golf.
It is. And honestly, I've been on it for 3 years, and I'm just shocked how trash I am still. Like it's such a like you need so much patience for it. Like it's insane.
I can go really deep about golf, but I think what I really appreciate the most about golf is that it's so tactical and so it's kind of like dancing. Like you can't just step up and hit the ball. Like you've got to think about like where your foot is, like where your hands are,
That's right.
What's gonna move first. Like
that's right. But I think that's what fucks me over too. Like you think so much about all these little positions and like little like I don't know like
grips.
The way you're holding it, like where you're aiming and stuff, and you're just like. It's just like information overload, and then when you actually swing, you're like,
"What did I just do?"
You like dug in 3 inches to the ground, like without even hitting the ball. So
the question is, do you enjoy it though?
Oh, I love it.
Okay,
I love it. Like there's
as long as you enjoy it, like there's got to be a certain point where you have some level of enjoyment. If you don't, then you're just punishing yourself.
No, I love it, but like there's certain things I have against like the golf community. Like okay, like I like some etiquette stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Like I get that you have to play fast and like you gotta keep moving and whatever, and I do. But like the people that are like super impatient and they just go anyways, and you're like, yo, like
I'm right here.
I like paid for this time slot as much as you paid for that time slot. Like just give me like 2 minutes, and everyone's we'll get through this. Yeah, essentially.
So are you walking when you have like those instances?
No. Yes, sorry. For the most part, yes. When I'm on a cart, no, it rarely happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where, if you don't mind saying it, like what courses do you get that kind of issue?
Like the hard ones. I haven't had it this year. But it's only when...
I feel as if, we see you at the range. Like you're obviously progressing.
Yeah, I'm definitely moving forward, that's for sure. No, it's just when you like play with other people, like those who aren't as like who are just like starting out.
Yeah.
But for myself this year, it wasn't that much of an issue. But I remember like the very first year of playing golf, I was so stressed out.
Yeah. Because you're like looking at the person behind you and they're doing like one of these.
Yeah, I was just about to say, they're like, "What's going on there, buddy?" Like, and you're just, just give me a few minutes. Like, I'm just trying to get out of the rough. Like,
have you ever gotten like called out like from like the previous tee and like someone's just like yelling at you? Come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man,
absolutely.
Like this year though, or before?
No, like before. Yeah. And this year, no. Honestly, even in my second year, it rarely happened.
Okay.
Because I just call it a gimme and then I just get off the hole and move on to the next one. But no, this year's been fine. I honestly, I've enjoying it more and more, and I'm spending more and more.
Yeah.
So
I think everyone is.
It's becoming a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
But a good problem.
I think golf as a first year or second year, if you have no experience into golf whatsoever, is honestly probably the worst sport to play. Not because like it's not fun. But because it's so, like you said, there's a lot of mannerisms that you have to like
Yeah.
know about
That's right.
before you step onto a golf course.
That's right.
Because if you're like taking your time, taking 10 practice swings, and you see a guy behind you, you're trying to like
Yeah.
it was like speeding it up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you're probably gonna learn as you keep playing. Like you've got to do some of those things to like get into like a mental space to like hit the ball correct.
That's right. Yeah.
Like you can't just speed up and like walk.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
there's a lot of mannerisms that kind of like get a lot of beginners that people don't really think about.
Yeah, like I didn't realize till like the second year that you're supposed to fix your divots.
You're just creating creators on the course.
Yeah. They're like, I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we're fixing our divots. But to be fair though, my shots are too weak to even make divots, nor can I even get to the green. So I'm good for now. But when I get to the green, guys, I'll definitely
Progression.
I'll definitely fix my divots.
I think you've definitely improved in golf, and I remember
thank
seeing
you.
a video from last year specifically, and I think it was just like a swing or like at the range, and we went to the range this year.
That's right.
Yeah, it just all it takes is like one small pointer, and it takes you
Yeah.
to a different level hitting the ball. Which
Yeah,
is
honestly, yeah.
totally different.
That's right. Yeah, Tony was teaching me different driver positions.
Yeah,
My God, he fixed like 2 things, and I'm just like,
where have you been my whole life?
yeah, like seriously, like that's literally because you go on YouTube and you like Google these things, and you're like, okay, so you want me to fix this, adjust my shoulders, like move my hips this way, like there's like
There's so many
12
things.
different things that you want me to do, but realistically, it's the one that they don't mention or like the one they like briefly go over, and you're like, okay, but then when someone's actually watching you who has a little more experience,
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I see, all right.
If you're watching YouTube videos on how to like hit the ball properly or swing, like you can go down a very deep rabbit
Yeah.
hole because there's so many pointers that everyone has. You're like, okay, so I'm gonna rotate my hips. I'm gonna like
Yeah.
turn my wrist over. I'm gonna make sure my grip isn't like closed too much. Like there's so many things.
And honestly, like some of them are like super contradictory too. Like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
you hold your grip like this, and then the next video is just like, no, hold
no,
your
hold
grip
it.
like this, and I'm like, oh, guys, make up your mind. Like,
The key is just have fun with it. First
yeah,
off,
I agree.
the key is just have fun with it.
Yeah.